Yeah, hope you have gone through all the complete syllabus. Okay, so module 1 to module 8 we will cover. Uh,
Yes, yes.
so module today we will start with module 1, which is architectural design. Okay, so whenever you
Okay.
work as a mechanical engineer, okay, as in a MEP field, whenever you have a mechanical design which consists of air conditioning design, smoke ventilation, then you have a chilled water design,
Yeah.
you have a plumbing, water supply, drainage, then you have a firefighting system. Okay, so we all do all this type of system, right? As a mechanical engineer. Okay, but prior to
Yes.
that, we also has to understand what is architectural design, because architecture, whenever you work with a consultant, you should able to you should able to understand the architectural architect, how they design the architectural. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
as I said last month, as I said last week, whenever the client or whenever the owner they want to start with the project, they have a bare land. They will purchase the land and they will do the based on their budget. They want to decide which type of project they want to go. Based on that, they will
Okay.
decide whether it is a residential or commercial or supermarket, shopping mall, whatever it is. Depends upon the budget. Okay. So as
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
architecture, what they will do as a client, he will approach the architect. Okay, to design the project. So architect will
Yes.
will will survey the land, and based on that, he will start designing the project. So as I said, for example, say there is a bare land, something like this. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the bare land from the client. Uh, so architect want to design. So maybe client will say that I want to design one residential tower project. Okay, and what architectural normally will do, this is the plot design, and based on the guideline. Okay, we have a local guidelines. There is a building regulations, that is what I
Okay.
shared to you. So say for
Yes.
example
Yes.
they want to design one tower project. Okay, so in the tower project, they will design, this is the plot area, and then they have a build up area. So this is the build up. Okay, so
Okay.
inside they will try to construct the multiple floors. Okay, based
Yeah.
on whatever
Mm.
the budget, they may go with a G+10, G+5, or G+50, whatever it is, depends upon the budget. Okay, so each and every area space planning has to be done based on the architectural guideline. You cannot do just like you cannot do the space planning. Okay, so if you see this particular guideline, this is the building regulations and design guidelines, architectural. Okay, so why we
Okay.
study the architectural background, because whenever you design the MEP system, you know what is the background. Okay, what is the basis, right? uh,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Say for example, in one of the building, whenever you are in a residential building, so whenever you see the residential building, you have a residential apartments, one bedroom, two bedroom, three bedroom. Okay, and if you come outside, you have a corridor, then you go to the staircase, you will go to the lift. Okay, then you will see a lot of electrical plant rooms, ELV
Yeah.
plant rooms like IDF room, telephone rooms. Then you may see garbage rooms, you may see firefighting pump rooms, FH rooms, AH rooms, water pump rooms. Then in the roof, you may have a chiller plant room. Okay, then there are
Yeah.
different chilled water pumps. There are many equipments, right? So these all to be allocated, okay, inside the architecture. So
Yes.
whenever
Yes.
as a MEP design, whenever you are working with a consultant, we all should comply whenever the architect design the project. Say for example, architect is designing one of the building. Okay, so as a mechanical design, as a mechanical design engineer, we should ensure that whatever the architect is in line with our MEP requirements. Okay, you cannot have building without shafts, right? You cannot run the
Yes. Yes. Yes.
you cannot you need to run your services inside the architecture. So as architect, he should consider the space requirement for the MEP services to run. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, and also
Clear.
you
Clear.
should allocate all the space planning for the MEP rooms. As I said, there is electrical room, plant room. There are many mechanical rooms. Okay, so whenever the architect
Yes.
design, he will follow the building regulations and design guidelines.
Okay.
Okay, so if you go further down, uh, there are introduction. Okay, which is like definitions. You can also read. Okay, so you can see there is one building where you can see that there is a complete
Yeah. Yeah.
building with you have a different spaces, and you have a corridor, then you have a staircase, toilets. Okay, lift area, everything is there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now if you go further down, okay, you can see there is one building where you have a plot limit. This is what we discussed, right? Plot limit,
Yes. Yes.
then there is a main road, everything. Okay, you can see there is a building, there is a warehouse, then you have a space allocation for the heavy truck, then you have a space allocation for the
Yeah.
light vehicle, vehicle entry,
Yeah.
everything is designed.
Okay.
So you can see the plot coverage area. This is a plot, and then you have a main building. Okay, and there is a building
Okay.
with height. There is a minimum maximum height. There is a building height also. Okay, so if you go to one of the table, you can see that internal clear height for different buildings. Okay, so you can see that there are residential building 2.7 meter, maximum you can go 4.2 meter. Office building you can go 2.5 meter maximum, 3 meter. So this is a minimum requirement. So remember,
Okay.
whenever we design the architectural or whenever we design our MEP services, you normally have you seen that the RCP should be the minimum height of the RCP is 2.5 meter for office buildings.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the
Okay,
ceiling.
so that is why if you somebody some MEP discipline, they will say that no, just lower the false ceiling because we have to run the MEP services, which is not possible, right?
Yes,
This is
yes.
the guideline.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that
Yeah, yeah.
understanding we should have, because we cannot say somebody to lower the false ceiling because I have to run my MEP services. We cannot say like that, because why? This is
Yeah,
the
correct.
guideline, right? So that is what we should
Yeah.
have, that basic understanding, the building
Okay.
regulations. Okay, so each and every
Yeah,
building having a
engineering.
minimum requirement and also the maximum requirement for each and every type of buildings, correct?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So depends
Engineer,
upon
one
that.
thing.
Yeah. Tell me. Yes.
For example, in the office, this is the
Yeah.
minimum net height meter, meaning to say this is the false ceiling or this is the soffit already.
No, it is a clear height. See, can you see that it is an internal clear height for different building types? Internal clear height means what? It is not. It is not considering the soffit. It is considering the RCP,
Okay.
the false ceiling.
Okay.
So
Okay.
clear height
Okay.
for the human to walk.
Okay.
Okay, the normally the human height of the human is normally like 1.6 or sometime 1.8, right?
Yes, yes. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so more than you cannot have a neck to neck. Say for example, if you have a 2.5, then maybe you may require 500 mm for the active services for the MEP
Yes, yes.
services to run. Then your false ceiling will be 2 meter, right?
Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah, correct.
So this height is nothing but clear height. Okay, so
Okay.
based on that, if you look at here, you can see that there is a building height. So you can see that this is the minimum like 3 meter, maximum 4.2 meter. Okay, so you can see that there is a ground floor with half mezzanine 2.4 meter,
Okay.
and this is your soffit. This is your soffit, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So this height, how you decide depends upon your MEP services. Say for example,
Yes.
sometime if you go to the residential building, in the residential building you may not see your any MEP services, or you will not see any RCP. Correct. Say for
Yeah, yeah,
example,
yeah,
if you
correct.
see sometime if you see sometime there is a residential building. Okay, this is your entrance, and where you will keep your FCU here, and just you will keep your ducting and with the grills here, right?
Yeah, yeah, correct.
So this is your, say for example, this is your bedroom. For example, this is your bedroom. Okay. Okay, so this is your clear height.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this is what mean. So when you see this one, this is the RCP. This is the clear height for the human to walk. Clear.
Yes, yes, correct. Clear.
So based on that, the height will be decided. So whenever you see the project building height, sometime you know there is a building will be 10-meter tall, 20-meter tall, 50-meter tall, 100-meter tall. This depends upon the building height what we decided based on the regulations. Okay.
Okay, clear, clear.
Okay. Then you can see that there is a building setback area. Okay. So you cannot construct any building on the plot entrance. So you have to
Yes,
give,
yes.
there is a setback area as based on the guideline. Okay, see some
Okay.
of the building setback area 5.5 meter. So whenever you have a plot limiter, you should construct away from 5.5 meter. You cannot construct edge of the building. This is as per
Okay.
regulations. Okay, so whenever
Okay.
see the plot limit,
This is the minimum, right?
yeah, this is the minimum. Yeah, so this is the plot limit
Okay.
and 5.5 meter. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
okay. Now whenever you design one spaces, okay, I am going to design one space. Say for example, I have a meeting room. I have a meeting room, circular meeting room. I have a bedroom. Okay, then I have a bedroom here. This bedroom with a dressing room, or I have a toilet. Okay, I have a toilet with a
Mm.
shower. I have a toilet with the
Yeah.
shower tray. I have a kitchen. Okay, I have a cooking area. So if you know this minimum area, what is the minimum floor area to be followed? So can you do the space planning now?
Yes, yes, yes.
right? Say for example, this is my, assume that this is my area, plot area, or my one bedroom apartment area. Okay, so inside apartment I'm going to design one bedroom. So in the bedroom, what is the height dimension I have to follow? Minimum I have to follow this dimension. If it is a bedroom, 3 meters should be here.
Okay.
So then what I will
Yeah.
do, I will design 3 meter for this one. I will keep 3 meter for this dimension, right? And for the
Yes, yes.
length of the building will be based on this dimension, 3 meter. So 3 meter by 3 meter.
Correct, correct.
Okay, so like that, the architect will plot everything. He will start planning the design. So he will plot everything based on the regulations. See, the door width should be 0.9 meter. Okay, and what is that? If you have a dressing room, what is the minimum distance? 1.2 meter. Okay, so
Yeah.
each and every dimension is given here to follow. You can see the lavatory. How to say, for example, you have a one bed, you have this is your apartment, and you want to design one toilet. Say for example, this I want to design one toilet here. Okay, so what is the toilet dimension I have to follow? I have to follow this dimension, 1.2 meter. Then here I have a door width. Then I have accessories, fixtures here. So what is the minimum dimension required? I have to follow this dimension. Clear?
Okay. Yeah, clear,
So
clear.
based on that, we will do our architectural design planning. So each and every area, you can able to design it. Okay, say for example,
Okay.
sometime based on the occupancy. Okay, per person, what is the minimum area required? That is also given here.
Okay.
Okay, so then for example, what is the window dimension? Minimum dimension. Whatever is given here, minimum dimension. You can go bigger one, no problem. If you have a space, you can go bigger one, but you should follow the minimum dimension. See, for example, if you have a window, what is the minimum height? 0.9 meter you should provide.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And if you see,
But
this is the kitchen area, 1.25.
yeah, engineer, but is there any maximum dimensions given in this
No, see,
regulations?
maximum is depends upon our guideline. Yeah, see, if you talk about here, you can see this is the minimum and the maximum height.
Okay.
Okay, so it is given here, minimum and the maximum height.
Okay. Ah. Okay, okay, get it.
Okay, and here what is about area? Minimum. This is the minimum floor area. So why they didn't give a
Okay.
maximum? Because the maximum depends upon your space available, your budget. You can go bigger,
Yes, yes.
very big bedroom. If no one will ask you, right?
Yes, yes.
But you cannot go height. Height there is a restriction because when you increase the height, there is a that it will affect your structural design.
Correct. Correct.
So, but space you can go. You can have a 3 bedroom convert into 1 bedroom. That is because you it's your budget, right? You can
Okay,
have very
okay.
big toilet. You can have a very big meeting room. It's upon your space availability. But what is the minimum? That is for the human comfort.
Okay, clear, clear.
Okay. And then you have a door location. See, you have a different type of doors. Bathroom, kitchen, bedrooms. So what is the minimum width? Because this is for the human comfort. Okay. So when somebody
Okay.
going in through the door, they should feel comfort. It's not very small door. Okay. So this is the minimum width of the door. You can have a little bit bigger door. See, for sometime you see when you go to some of the hotels, you may see very big door, right?
Yes.
You can go big door. Depends upon your budget, but the minimum should follow.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
so
okay. Get it.
you got some idea, right? So say for example, this is your
Yes,
door,
yes.
this is your door. So this is architectural. So whenever you're a consultant, when you're working with the design projects, basically when you're working with the design project, you have a architectural, you have a structural, you have ID, then you have a MVP drawings like mechanical, electrical, ELV. So whenever you work with architectural, you should know that what to comply with your MEP requirements. Okay, so whenever you
Okay.
comply with MEP requirement, you will ask for shaft, you will ask for plant room, you will ask for different say for example equipment rooms. So whenever you request for equipment rooms, you should consider all this all these requirements. Okay, say for example, I have one room. Okay, this is my one room, and I have a FHU here. For example, this is FHU. I'm keeping it inside the room. So inside the room, when you keep
Okay.
a FHU, what is the room dimension? Okay, and what is the space you have to give around the maintenance space for door access?
Okay.
So this is the space planning,
Yeah.
right? And say for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
I have a ducting, and then maybe I have to provide one shaft to run the duct from here to going to the roof. Okay, so this is all the part of space planning which you have to provide. You have to provide your input to the architect to comply your requirements. Okay, because architect may not know what is your requirement, but so whenever you are working with a design project, you should mingle with architect team to get comply with your requirements. Clear?
Okay. You should coordinate, right? Okay.
Yeah, should coordinate. So whenever you do coordination, you also should know the architecture, right? Say for example, how the door should be, what is the door width, what is the minimum height, correct?
Okay, good.
Okay,
Correct.
so here also you can see there are different spaces with the minimum design requirements. If you have a courtyard, maid room, what is the minimum distance for maid rooms?
Okay, yeah.
If you have a balcony, what is the width you have to maintain, correct?
Yeah, okay.
The projections, because it will affect your structural. If you have a basement, okay, so what are all the conditions here? Okay, so here it is given for the basements, ground floor, mezzanine, rooftops. Okay, if you have a corridors, so what is the minimum dimension you have to provide for the corridor? Okay, if you have a door, opposite
Okay.
door, how you have to give the door width?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you are getting some idea, right? If you go to the shopping
Yeah,
mall,
yeah.
you find kiosk area. What is the minimum dimension they have to maintain?
Okay, yeah. Correct.
If you have an apartment, see the apartment public corridor. What is the minimum distance you have to
Yes.
maintain? You cannot go less than that because municipality will not approve. Whenever you design the
Okay.
project, you have to submit for municipality approval. So they will check all these regulations.
Okay, yeah.
And if you have apartment, whenever remember you are staying in 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom, whenever you enter the apartment, you have some space. So what is the minimum distance? Minimum 1.2 meter to enter.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
you have an elevator, what is the distance you have to provide? Okay. And if you have back to back
Okay.
elevator, what is the distance?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. If you have a staircase, how to design the staircase? What is the dimension? Okay. And if you have a steps, what is the dimension to be followed? Okay. If you have a curved
Oh,
staircase, ladder. Okay. If you have a staircase, what is the dimension? Okay. See for example, whenever you design the elevator, whenever you design the staircase, this is for the quickest reach for the staircase. Say for example, exit path. Okay.
yes.
Which is
Okay.
quickest way to reach. Okay. See the quickest way to reach your staircase. In case any fire, you should reach to
Okay.
the staircase very near. So
Yes,
that is
yes,
also should
correct.
be complied.
Okay.
Okay. If you have a, say for example, you have a fire escape stairs. Okay. So what is the requirement? The door requirements. How the people will escape. Okay.
Okay.
We are not going in too much detail, but as a mechanical engineer, we should understand. So I request you to
Yeah.
go through this guideline, just read the topics and read whatever the pictures. And if you find any values, just try to read the value to get some information. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And if you
No
see the
problem.
parking area, how the parking area designed. See, for example, you may go to the basement or you may go to the parking lot. See the parking, there is a parking lot. Okay. What is the dimension to be followed? This is a dimension.
Okay, yeah.
So whenever the architect design, he will design based on this dimension. See the dimension. See, for example, you might have seen like this parking, right? In the
Yeah,
apartment
parallel.
or anywhere. So what is the dimension to be followed? This is a space planning. Whatever the architectural is a space planning.
Okay, yeah.
If you have angle parking, okay, what is the space planning? If you have a garage, what is the dimension to be followed? If you have a two car is parking inside, what is the dimension?
Yeah.
If you have a cycle stand, what is the dimension to be followed?
Okay.
Okay, there are different type of buildings: residential building, educational building, religious building, health building, commercial buildings, which includes offices, banks, showrooms, general retail. Okay, so here what they are saying,
Okay.
how many number of parking you have to provide. Say for example, you are in basement, your residential apartment, and you are in basement. So what is the number of parking you have to provide? Each one parking space for each apartment up to 150 square meter floor area.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
So depends upon that you can design number of parking. Remember, whenever they are submit the architectural to municipality, there is a number of parkings. Also, they will question depends upon the number of people how many parking you should have. Say for example, your residential
Okay.
you are designing for 10 residential plot, okay,
Okay.
and you are designing only 5 parking. Then the municipality will ask you a question why it is only 5 parking, because as a code, one parking should be provided for each apartment.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And if you go to some common areas like showrooms, you should provide one parking per 700 square meter floor area. Okay. If you have a
Okay.
700,000, 700 square meter floor area of the showroom, then you have to provide 10 parking
Okay. So 70 square meters per area
per
for one person. Okay.
yeah, for one parking. So if you have a 700 square meter,
Okay.
give 10 parking. Okay.
Okay.
So these are guidelines.
Okay, engineer.
Okay, so then you have a swimming pool area, playing field, marinas, bowling center. So all the space planning is there. Bowling center, 5 parking space for each lane plus. Okay, 30 square meter of clubhouse facilities.
Okay, clear, clear.
Okay, then you have a loading base. What is the minimum space you have to provide? Okay, and what is the distance? What is the height? Depends upon the truck.
Yeah.
Then you have a residential building, villas. See that if you have a villa area, then you have some security guards or some maid rooms. Okay, this is the plot limit. Okay, then you have a then we are coming into the fixtures. Now we have designed so far the space planning for the corridor, for the building like a residential bedrooms or some office buildings space we have seen. Now we are coming into the fixtures. How many fixture you have to provide? Lavatory, wash basin,
Oh,
ablution area. So how many fixture you have to provide depends upon the number of people. Say for example,
okay.
you're in one bedroom. Okay, so one bedroom you have a 2 people or 3 people maximum in one bedroom.
Oh,
So you are
yeah.
providing one WC, one shower, and one wash basin, for example. So if you are going to two
Okay.
bedroom, then your number of people may increase. That is why you are going to two bedroom. So you have a two toilets. That means two
Yeah.
WC, two wash basin, two shower,
Shower.
like that. So here it is
Okay.
given depends upon the building how many lavatory, how many wash basin, how many ablution area you should provide for residential villas. Depends upon the if you
Okay.
have a masjid in the religious type. This is a religious type. If you have a masjid,
Yes,
how
yes, yes.
many lavatory you have to provide? Okay.
This one engineer, this like for example,
Yeah.
for this mosque,
Yeah.
it's stated there three wash basin, three lavatories, and what's the
Yeah.
other one?
Depends
Sorry.
upon 150 worshippers. If you have 150 worshippers, if the mosque is in residential area,
Okay.
in case if the mosque is in rural area, then here it is a regulation.
Okay. Ah, okay, okay, get it.
Okay, so if it is in town area or residential commercial, these are regulations.
Okay, get
But
it.
same 150 worshippers. Say for example, 150 worshippers here different. Here the town center is different. Rural area is different. Correct.
Yeah, correct, correct.
Okay, then prayer hall. What is the space allocation for racks for shoes, main entrance? Okay, here you have garden and parks, public places. How many? If you have a mosque in masjid and public places, what is the number of parking here? Number of fixtures.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I know.
If it is a if
Clear.
it is a prayer room, what is the space allocation per person? Okay, this for uh, gas station. How the space planning is to be done? Okay, between
Yeah.
the two garage, two parking area or two filling station.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Clear.
Okay, then you have a residential. If you have a residential building, how to design the bedrooms with the toilets. So you know what is the requirement,
Uh,
right?
yeah. I will.
You know what is
I
the
will
door
check.
dimension. You know what is the dimension to be followed for this one, for corridor.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
correct.
yeah, then you have a public sanitary facilities. How many WC for if you have a school education building? Okay, then you have a swimming pool area. How to space? How to design the swimming pool? What is the dimension to be followed? Depth.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, then you have a garbage rooms. Say for example, you have a garbage in your building. So how to design the garbage? What is the trolley dimension? How you will take the trolley outside? Okay, depends upon that you will design, and depends upon amount amount of garbage, expected garbage.
Yes.
Okay, so depends
Yeah,
upon that
correct.
you can design your garbage rooms, garbage chutes. Okay, then you have a landscaping requirement. How to design the landscaping area, like trees, number of tree, cycling area.
Okay.
Then utility services. Now, as I said, water supply tank you have to design. You have to design your septic tanks,
Septic.
plumbing works,
Yeah.
shafts, riser, rainwater drainage, gas facilities, ventilation and air conditioning, ducting, riser, duct riser, chilled water pipe riser, chilled water plant room, electricity, lighting and telephone installation, electrical rooms, telephone rooms. Okay, you have a substation rooms or LV room, UPS room, battery room.
Yeah.
Okay, then you have an insulation requirement. If why the insulation is required to avoid any
Uh, sorry.
heat, to avoid any heat coming from outside to inside. So you have
Okay.
insulations. Okay, so because
Okay.
insulation also you have to follow to save the energy. Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the guideline which you should understand whenever you are working with a design consultant as a design consultant. Okay.
Okay.
So you can go through this particular document which I have shared to you. Just go through the title, go through the pictures, what is the dimension, and if you see some values, try to understand what is the value, what is the square meter minimum requirement. Then whenever you see the architectural, maybe you're working in different sites, you have architectural package.
Yeah.
So just to open the architectural
Yeah.
package and just go through, just screen the architectural package, how the architecture is designed. So you will have a
Ah,
better understanding. Clear?
yeah. Clear.